Sun going bling bling. But Richardson, Hitchens, and Devin Haney goes back and forth about ducking, and I think everybody that's right down the middle is gonna side with Devin Haney, at least on the things that could be proven as far as ducking who. Hitchison talking shit. Then I put on the screen Devin come back and say all the guys that he pump fake called out and didn't fight. Gary Anton, Russell, he ducked him. Keyshawn Davis and all that stuff, and he exposed the fact that Richardson Hitchens ducked a $2 million fight. He would have got $2 million to fight Keyshawn Davis. He ducked it to fight Jamaine Ortiz for $700,000. Okay, and he basically said, "I dare you say I'm lying." All right. Now, at the end of the day, we heard it the other way too. That Keyshawn Davis, we heard it the other way too, that Keyshawn wanted like a couple million, like I think it was $2 million to fight. And maybe they was willing to give them two apiece. And this was, this is undercard money. They paying main event money. And these guys, it sounded like was going to be on the undercard Shakur Stevenson, Teofimo Lopez. Then also, we thought we was going to get Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo on the undercard. So two of the really strong fights they tried to get going, they didn't, they didn't come together, right? And shit happens, which would have made the card so strong. Some people saying the card is weak. I like Keyshawn and Jamaine Ortiz, Bruce Shushu Carrington versus Carlos Castro, and I think it's another fight on there, good fight on there, But compared to having those name brand fights on there, I definitely understand, where fans are coming from. And then also, and I might talk about this on the live. Also, there's rumors that Teofimo and Shukun is going to be on pay-per-view now. After they made it seem like it was going to be on regular TV. Now, I had to do more research, but I seen an article saying that they put it on pay-per-view this morning. So, I do more research on that. I'll chop it up towards the end of the video on that. It's a rumor. It's something I read, right? But, at the end of the day, Hitchison, what it seems like to me, he wants to be up there with the top guys, Tank, Devin, Shakun, T.O. He want that type of recognition. He feel like he deserved that recognition. The thing about Gary Anton Russell is at least he's trying to earn it. At least he's trying to get busy with a couple guys to get that recognition. At least he's trying to get busy. At least he willing to, start off at the bottom and climb his way up the hill. You feel what I'm saying? Hitchens just feel like, hey, man, I need to be up there. Dog, you don't have a backing, for real. New York don't fuck with you. We seen that from your ticket sales. And that's okay. And I feel like I know he was talking shit about Subriel Matias when losing to Dalton Smith. But, dude, most people feel like you avoided Subriel Matias. You ducked that fade. That's conventional. That's what people think. You ducked that fade. So, at the end of the day, we kind of find that a little funny, homeboy. We find that a little funny that you got something to say about a fighter that lost that you refused to fight before the pet accusations. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't. I feel like you shouldn't really be talking on nobody that you ain't really trying to get busy with. But at the end of the day, you ain't gonna fight Dev. You ain't. I mean, right now you gonna fight nobody. They talking about now. He called out Frank Martin on social media. Okay, but then now they talking about he fighting Oscar Durant. And I find that funny that Eddie and Oscar and, you know, Matchroom and Golden Boy can come to a deal for Frank and Durant, but y'all can't get a done deal or a deal done for Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Ennis. That just let you know, man, dude, even in the apocalypse of boxing, where all these promoters is about to go rockabye baby for my New Jack City boys, you know, all these dudes about to be gone. They still, with the feet to their with the fire to their feet, they still refuse to make the best fights. They still protecting unvaluable assets. Virgil Ortiz ain't no asset. They probably losing money with Virgil Ortiz. They ain't making no huge profit. He ain't no cash cow. Like, his fights don't sell, bro. You can't find gate numbers. He ain't been on pay-per-view, and I'm pretty sure the Zone ain't happy with the numbers he bring in to their streaming network. He ain't like that. He ain't like that. But then again, it's the same thing PBC did. Everybody get private protection. You know, and you know, I remember on the Zone when D'Angelo Barksdale was breaking down to like Pooh, Wallace, and Bodie how to play chess, and he basically was making the analogy to the streets, like, you know, the pawns are the soldiers, and you know, and he basically was like, you know, pawns stay pawns. Pawns don't become kings. Pawns don't become bishops and bosses and shit like that. And letting them know in an indirect way that, and they understood it, that y'all ain't gonna be nothing more than the shields for, you know, you know, for Avon, Barksdale, Stringer, Bill, nothing more, nothing less. You might move up and be muscle, and that's about it. That's Virgil Ortiz. He's, you know, they protecting, you know, little pawns and shit, man. But with Devin and Devin and Richardson, Hitchens, like, you know, Hitchens just look bad. Everybody know Hitchens a duck, but I just think Hitchens ducking based on the fact that he think his value one thing, and it's not. You was a free agent and went back to Eddie. That's all we need to know right there. You was a free agent that had to go back to Eddie. Talking about I had options. Ain't no options out here. Top Rank ain't got no TV network. PBC, you know, about to be done with Prime. They ain't gonna have nothing after that. So where are you gonna go? Golden Boy? You see how they treat their black fighters historically. So yeah, either you gonna directly work with Turki Al-Sheikh, and if you was gonna plug in with Turki, then that means you would have had to fight somebody expeditiously. You know what I'm saying? And if he really felt like he was that dog, like Devin did, Devin plugged in directly with Turki. Devin willing to fight anybody whenever they really want them to. Hitchens ain't on that level yet. And yeah, you're willing to fight anybody if you got a $12 million 3-fight deal for $36 million. Hell yeah. Or whatever, yeah. Hell yeah, you willing to fight any and everybody. But Hitchens don't have that name yet. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I feel like, you know, maybe Frank Martin priced himself out. Who knows? When you're dealing with PBC, they price themselves out. And all of a sudden, you fighting Oscar Durant. Like, come on now, bro. You should have just fought Jamaine Ortiz. Now, he said he agreed to fight. Devin said he agreed to fight Jamaine Ortiz for $700K. You know, I don't know what happened. But, you know, even when boxing is crumbling and it's crippling itself, even when it's falling down, they still don't have the urgency to make the fights. Now, this whole thing with Shakun and Tia Female or Tia Female going to pay-per-view, what I read, if it's true, it's not surprising, bro. You know, I'm pretty sure they got problems selling tickets. I'm pretty sure they got problems selling tickets, let alone selling pay-per-views. Like I said before, this whole model where you gotta throw it on pay-per-view, and I don't get that. And I don't know who buying these pay-per-views to keep them afloat. quite frankly, I don't know who buying these pay-per-views, keeping these people afloat. But somebody buying them. Somebody buying them. But yeah, they made it seem like it wasn't gonna be on pay-per-view. You know, they made it seem like you get the poster, don't say pay-per-view, and all of a sudden, what, about 2 weeks out, it's like, yeah, let's do pay-per-view. It's like, really? For a fight, they got no buzz. It's not like the buzz of cup overfloweth. Like, damn, you know, they really buzzing, and people like, you know, but like I continue to say, I don't know how they making profits in boxing. They got to be smuggling or cleaning dope money or, you know, cleaning dirty money somewhere. They got to be. They got to be. They got to be cleaning dirty money. This is what it gotta be, in my opinion, bro. But it's a little disheartening that they putting this on pay-per-view. I don't really understand how the Zone is gonna grow a product, bro. I literally don't understand. How do you grow a product when everything is going on pay-per-view? That's my thing. I don't understand how you grow a product like that. And then don't nobody care nothing about the two fighters, bro. Like, come on. And even back in the day when, you know, these fights of this nature used to be on ABC and on regular TV. When you had these fights on regular TV and shit. Come on, man. Pick a lane, one of y'all. When these fights used to be on regular TV, the advertisers were so interested in these fights. The advertisers were so interested in these fights that they made the difference up. I mean, Sugar Ray Leonard was fighting somebody on NBC, made $10 million. So it was demand. It was a demand there. Now, with the advertisers not willing even to sponsor the fight, they had the big advertisers to sponsor the fight. You know, who wants to put the money up for this fight? Nobody. My thing is, if you can't put this fight on CBS, NBC, and nobody want to put the money up to sponsors to make up the difference, you know, it don't need to be on. It don't need to be on the paywall, under a paywall. Everything in boxing is paywall. And it ain't like, hey man, I can't just wait till the fight over and watch it 10 minutes after the fight, or you can't stream it. You know what I'm saying? Or you feel like you missed a historic moment. Most of these fights are not historic. Nothing historic happens. Most of the epic fights that you have that fighters are hungry and it turns into savagery, it's the fights on the undercard or the little known fights. The big numbers and the big fights, these motherfuckers throw 1-2 punches and they back on defense. Ain't nobody throwing 3, 4, 5, 10 punches no more, pivoting or turning their opponent and getting off. These niggas ain't even fighting. All they do is Mayweather. Pity pat, roll, pity pat, defend. You know what I'm saying? These niggas is the most, that's something that need to be spoke on too. This is the most boringest crop of fighters ever, bro. All these niggas know is defense. These motherfuckers weigh 102 pounds, 150 pounds, 47 pounds, 40 pounds, and they ain't even throwing no punches. They ain't heavyweights throwing as many punches as them. They ain't even throwing no punches. Nobody is getting hurt in the making of these fights. It's crazy, bro. And then you get in here, you know, and now they allow they allow these celebrity fights. You got Keyshawn Rock signing the deal, Jake Paul and Logan Paul. They're allowing these dudes to take opportunity, you know, take all the opportunities. You got Aiden Ross got a league, Gillian Wallow got a league. You got bare knuckle boxing, they got a league. Shit, everybody got a league. Dana White got a league. It's like, geez Louise. That's because y'all not exciting. Y'all, even when y'all give us the fights that we want, let's say they prime fights, y'all boring. Same thing with Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Man, they did all that hoopla for years. And was nobody hurt in the making of that motherfucking horror film. Horror Robo film. Was there nobody hurt in the making of that film? This Chinese restaurant look all like, it look all motherfucking like, I bet that shit good. My girl like, that shit, nah, it is okay. Like, man, that's fucked up. You got a great looking restaurant and the food mid. Crazy, right? But hey, man, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance. Get notifications. We go live and drop video files on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love, support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.